In front of me I have the Sony Xperia Pro I or Pro 1, I'm not exactly sure which one is it. But anyway, today I will go over unboxing along with a quick overview of this device. So let's get started. This is the packaging that it comes in. It doesn't really look like anything special. Actually, the packaging kind of feels flimsy and cheap. Anyway, in here we get the phone. Now I'll mention that the phone has already been set up, so it's not necessarily super like new out of the box, but as you can see, it still has like stickers and all that stuff. So anyway, there's the phone. Under that we have some paperwork just loosely dropped in here, and under that we get our charger. So this is a Type-C charger. It is a 30 watts, which you can see right over here, and obviously we get a cable with that. So this cable will be Type-C to Type-C just because of the charger. You can see one end is Type-C and the other one is also Type-C. So there we go. That's basically all we get in the box and nothing more. Then in terms of the device itself, there it is. It has a interesting design on the side. It's not like smooth or anything. It has this like perforated edges. I think that's how it's called. Honestly, it kind of reminds me of like cheap, old, outdated cabinets with the like basically little thing on the edges of like when you have a stool or whatever, however you call it, in the kitchen, and then the edges of it are kind of like this. Not necessarily the best thing that you might want to associate a premium flagship phone with. Anyway, let's turn it on. Hopefully there's battery. There we go. So it is turning on. So right off the bat, right here we are looking at 6.5 inches display. That is a 1644 pixels by 3840 pixels. So fairly dense display, even this kind of size. Now this is a OLED display, so that's nice. It's also 120 Hz refresh rate, so again another positive right here. And what else is there? We have HDR, and just quickly go through this setup. HDR, we have 82.5% screen to body ratio with 643 pixels per inch. That is massive amount. I think that is the highest pixels per inch that I have ever seen. So, in terms of the glass right here protecting this display, it's a corner Gorilla Glass Victus, and that's basically all the interesting stuff about the display. It's quite all intents and purposes just a outstanding display right here. OLED with high refresh rate and fairly dense display. So everybody who even pixel peeps at their device, I don't think you can see any pixels right here just because of the sheer stupid resolution that you have on this tiny little display. Now, the second thing right here will be the cameras, which are obviously at the back. And we have, what is it, a triple camera setup, it looks like. So, all of them are actually 3 megapixel cameras. So, or not 3, geez. 3 cameras at 12 megapixels, that's what I meant to say. So we are looking at 12 megapixel wide, 12 megapixel telephoto, and a 12 megapixel ultra wide. And also we have a 0.3 megapixel time of flight. So that's a 3 depth sensor, which I assume is this little thing right here somewhere. So there we go. So the cameras are, I wouldn't say necessarily like anything outstanding. It's only 12 megapixels, though. What was other device? I think Google Pixel also has 12 megapixels camera, so that's similar in that regard. And there was also another phone that I remember, like a flagship that came with also 12 megapixel sensors only. I think it was also Samsung, like Galaxy or Fold, but I can't remember on top of my head to be like super precise about it. Anyway, let's quickly look at the camera right here. This will probably work best in the hands of someone who actually knows what the heck they are doing with their camera, especially one like that. So yeah, but to be fair, I did unboxing and like overview of Xperia Mark, I think it was 3, which also used the same kind of like camera thingy thing and their application, and that thing was god awful. I don't know if there was some faulty camera that I had on that model or whatever it was. The photos coming out of that device were next level terrible, and there was nothing you could have done to actually improve them. So hopefully this is not the case right here. I really do hope that this phone holds up the standards with camera. I do have to say I really like the button. We do have a shutter button right here, so it makes it snapping photos really nice. It's also a two-phase press, so as you can see, when you just lightly press it, it will start the live focus. So if I can just showcase this, as you can see, it's now focusing. So the green dots are showcasing where it is focused, and then you can press it all the way to capture the photo. Really nice, really simple. So let's see what we get. We actually have a not as sharp of a photo as I would have expected. Now, to be fair, this might not be a bad thing. Obviously, Samsung and all the other manufacturers do artificially sharpen their photos just so they look more appealing to the general public. But in certain cases, you might want to have a little bit of a more soft-looking image, which will obviously look sometimes a little bit better, depending on what you're capturing. But still, looking at this right away, just a couple of snaps like that, I can already say that the camera right here is miles better than what I had experienced before with the Xperia lineup, the Mark whatever it was. So there we go. And I believe the other one also had like 12 megapixels. So it leads me to believe that I just had like some kind of faulty camera right there. This one seems to be doing just fine. Anyway, let's move over to a last thing, which is just the internal specs of this device. So we're looking at a newest Snapdragon, or maybe not the newest one right now anymore, but it's a Snapdragon 888. We have a 12 gigs of RAM, and also we have 512 gigs of built-in storage with a UFS 3.1 storage. And let me quickly also check one more thing. I highly doubt that we have expandable storage, but I will check it just to be certain. Oh, actually I don't need that, so I can just easily pop it out. And damn, I'll be impressed here. We have expandable storage on a premium device. Nice. Nice. Really nice. And apart from that, we have a couple of things that you might not expect. So we do have a headphone jack right at the top, which at this point is thing of the past basically. We have a fingerprint sensor on the side button. Unfortunately, I would probably prefer it under the display to keep it cleaner, but it is right here. Though this time around it is at a much better location. Previous Xperias, I don't remember which one exactly, had it in like, I think somewhere right here, which was absolutely stupid. So when you were holding the device, you had to literally shift your hands to press the fingerprint sensor. Here it's on the power key. The other one was also on power key, but the power was on a stupid location. But yeah, when you're unlocking it, it's in a comfortable spot where you don't have to shift your hand to actually access it, which is an improvement here. And anything else here to basically say about it? We do have some little carving so you can hang something like a keychain or whatever, and that's about it from like the worth mentioning parts of it. Now last things last, the battery. It's a 4500 milliamp hour battery, which, to be completely honest, at a phone at this size, the battery isn't necessarily like wowing me here. At this size of a phone, which almost resembles a remote control, I would prefer or expect something like a 5000 milliamp hour at least. As a comparison, this is my phone that I use on a daily basis. This is the Mate 20 Pro, and this seems small next to it, to be honest. Like, here you go. So in terms of width, it's about the same width. but height, you can see that it is a little bit taller. Now, I don't know if there's anything else to say about this device, maybe apart from the price tag. So this phone does come a little bit on an overpriced area right here. So it comes at around $1,200, which it's not including tax. If you include tax, it's about $1,600. So for instance, in euros, it's about 1,700, 1,600. Hopefully this isn't a new phone anymore, so after that, I'm a little bit late to the party, as you can probably see. So hopefully the price tag fell drastically from where it was before to something more reasonable, like $1,000. Then yeah, this phone might be actually really good. It's like $1,500. That's asking a little bit too much. So now some people might actually still spend that money just because this is a Sony phone, and if I am correct, it allows you to use, for instance, this device as a secondary display for your like alpha camera, right? Which from what I'm aware, those displays can cost some pretty penny. So being able just to slap a phone to it and use that instead might be more feasible option for some people, where you already have like a package of a phone, good display, and basically latest features on a device, along with it doubling as a display for your camera. So for some people, this price tag is completely justifiable. For other people like me, which doesn't use camera like that, nor do I have a reason to, this device, well, doesn't have any use for me at the price range that it comes at. I do understand that there are probably people that will fight me on this one and say that the price is completely fine because the device does more things that it's designed for. But to me, and probably many other people, if you're just looking for a phone as a phone, like the name would suggest, this device is severely overpriced for everybody else who wants to use this for its actual like intended purposes. Additionally, then I assume that the price is fine. But yeah, so that being said, from a I guess perspective of a casual person that won't really use this for like its intended purposes, for me it's a little bit overpriced, and I probably wouldn't get it. Even though I will say up straight out, I always liked the Xperia lineups, these devices. I like the aspect ratio, and I like the device, how it feels in hand. Additionally, a couple things that they include with them, but I could never justify the actual price. If they could give me a premium flagship device with, I don't know, skipping these overpriced features like they do for the cameras, where you can just use this as a secondary display for your camera, and I could, for instance, save $500 on it, logically speaking, because the device, the internals here aren't worth $1,500 as an example. So this phone comes, well, with a flagship specs, but flagship specs at this level cost about $1,000 at a good, well, from even Samsung, I believe. So if I could get the phone with things like, for instance, the multi-window switching, so it allows me to launch 2 different applications really quickly, and a couple of additional Sony features, I would be just super happy with this device, and it would be totally worth $1,000. So yeah, that's basically my opinion right here, from like just a normal user that would look for a powerful phone, just a phone. So anyway, if you found this video some kind of helpful, informative, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and thanks for watching.